Upon the conclusion of filming a 2-hour and 45-minute conversation between Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick last June 15 inside the New York Giants home locker room at MetLife Stadium, NFL Films coordinating producer Ken Rogers knew he had witnessed something extraordinary between two legendary NFL coaches. The problem was whether it would come across on film. There was a feeling in the room, an unspoken knowledge that we were witnessing something that would never happen again, a moment in history being recorded, an official record of something so many people are interested about, said Rogers, an Emmy Award-winning producer of HBO's Hard Knocks and the director of two ESPN 30 for 30 documentaries, The Four Falls of Buffalo, 2015, and El Way to Marino, 2013. There was a palpable sense that they were working out their relationship themselves as the conversation went on. We worried as soon as the interview was over, how do we show what we were all feeling? The conversation between Belichick and Parcells, sometimes tense and always fascinating, is at the center of the next 30 for 30 offering for ESPN Films, directed by Rogers and filled with terrific behind-the-scenes NFL Films footage. The Two Bills is a sensational 90-minute exploration of the highs and lows of the relationship between mentor, Parcells, and mentee, Belichick. Rogers said he believes it is their first on-camera interview together since 1991 and all of the subjects you would want explored get the treatment, from the pair's Super Bowl success with the Giants, to the fractured relationship following Belichick resigning from the head coaching job of the Jets in 2000 to him ultimately landing the New England coaching job. Asked early in the film if he considered Parcells an enemy, Belichick pauses and says, competitor. The film airs February 1 at 9 p.m. ET. The running time is 77 minutes and will be a 90-minute presentation with limited commercials. The production crew met each coach the day of filming on the outskirts of MetLife Stadium, and the doc begins with cameras inside each car as the Parcells and Belichick head to MetLife Stadium. The doc features interviews with Lawrence Taylor, Scott Piley, Ty Law, Romeo Crennel, Charlie Weiss and Patriots owner Robert Kraft, who is particularly candid about both men. Rogers said the film would not have happened without Kraft's greenlit. The relationship between Kraft and Parcells is in good place today and allows some candor to come out now, Rogers said. Those of us who push for candor in situations around current teams are probably fooling ourselves to think it will be told now. It really does take time to talk about it. Rogers said he first met Belichick in 2001 but began working in earnest with him in 2004. He said he had continually conversations with Belichick over the years about what aspects of his story still needed to be captured to have a library of his career, and the Parcells relationship was always out there to be told. There's some great footage in the doc of Parcells, then an NBC Sports NFL analyst, calling Belichick's first game as the coach of the Cleveland Browns in 1991. Naturally, there is plenty of footage of Parcells yelling at Belichick on the sidelines over the years. I think if Belichick did anything other than be a coach, which is hard to imagine, I think it would be some sort of historian, Rogers said. When he is asked about something that interests him, whether it is naval history or something about the Naval Academy or a coaching tree, like if you asked him about Paul Brown, you cannot shut him up in a good way. Belichick's appreciation for history is what Rogers played on when he pitched Belichick on wearing a microphone for the entire 2009 NFL season. The result of that was A Football Life, which aired in 2 parts on the NFL Network in 2011. Rogers first met Parcells in 2009 when he served as a co-producer on A Football Life documentary about Parcells. Rogers eventually pitched Belichick to do a piece on his relationship with Parcells, which surprisingly did not take much coaxing. Rogers said Belichick immediately wanted to do it. What was hard was the scheduling. Rogers says it took 3 years to find a time when they were both available on the same day. Rogers credited Marianne Wimberly, the head of talent relations for NFL Films, and ESPN senior coordinating producer Seth Markman, for helping to convince Parcells to do the film. Both have known Parcells for many years. They, Belichick and Parcells, were not opposed to doing it, but they are also not the type to clear their schedules to do it. Rogers said, that wasn't out of animosity, they could just take or leave a film like this. As a longtime NFL film staffer, Rogers had a major advantage having worked with both on long-form projects, but he had no idea whether Parcells and Belichick has spoken beforehand, so he prepared himself to coax them into talking about things. I had to make it clear that, I know there are things you are not going to want to talk about, but we have to talk about them, like the Jet stuff, Rogers said. They would give me SD like, yep, that can be 20 seconds. Those sort of answers, to me, the way they relate to their players and other coaches, that sort of ribbing or ball busting, is sort of the way they said yes to the film. If you wanted to say no, you would simply say no or not do the film. They are not the types who will ever say, "Sure, I want to talk about the Jets." Rodgers said he experimented with the size of the table the two coaches sat behind and where the camera would go to create intimacy. He used the interrotron technique invented by acclaimed documentarian Errol Morris, which provides the effect that the characters are talking directly to the audience. What Rodgers discovered in the course of filming was how compelling it was to have a visual of either Belichick or Parcells reacting while the other coach was speaking. Rodgers went back and researched how the sex comedies of the 1950s were able to get around the motion picture code that prohibited showing a man and women in bed together. There is a lot of split screen in the two bills, and Rodgers said it was inspired by the 1958 British romantic comedy film Indiscreet, directed by Stanley Donen and starring Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman. "It almost felt like we were done once we got the interview done," Rodgers said. "Maybe only people in sports media would get this, but the get was sort of the high point. Seeing them in the same room is more powerful than telling their stories in many ways." Rodgers said they could have taken the film anywhere, but NFL Films thought the scope of the film, and the potential eyeballs, was worth going to ESPN's 30 for 30. Plus, he had the history of directing films for them. What did Parcells or Belichick think of the film? Let Rodgers know if you find out. "I haven't spoken to either one of them since filming," Rodgers said. "Neither one of them as far as I know have seen them film. I know for sure Coach Belichick has not seen it and I doubt he will. He's busy right now." The Noise Report SI.com examined some of the most notable sports media stories. 1. As Sports Illustrated first reported on Friday, ESPN SportsCenter anchor Jemele Hill is leaving the 6 p.m. SC6 edition of SportsCenter to join the staff of The Undefeated, the ESPN microsite that fuses sports, race and culture, as well as other additional assignments. She will depart after the February